In August of 2021, the world was introduced to the newest design from the ground up Kia electric vehicle sitting on the new Electric Global Modular Platform and used the new EV line naming nomenclature. While classified as a crossover vehicle, the EV6 is more of a kammback-style wagon than a crossover. It's low, wide, and has a large interior package, but does not have the upright body style typically associated with crossovers. At its introduction, the EV6 was available in either front-wheel drive or the e-all-wheel drive with dual electric motor configurations, which added a snow drive mode to the available driver-selectable drive modes. Trim levels then were Light, Wind, and GT line. Well, back in June of 2022, we reviewed a Wind trim level EV6 equipped with a dual motor e-all-wheel drive configuration, much like this one, and found it to be an impressive vehicle. Overall, the EV6 is a good all-around vehicle with good performance and economy ratings, as well as great warranty. Then, in October of 2022, a new variant of the EV6 was introduced, a more powerful version of the GT line. As if 320 horsepower and 446 pound-feet of torque with a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of 4.0 seconds wasn't enough, well, it actually wasn't for Kia, so they took the GT line and removed the line, leaving GT, a sporty variant of the EV6 with a dual motor configuration, e-all-wheel drive capability, massive 15-inch brakes, 4-piston calipers, a stiffer suspension, revised steering geometry, sport seats that wouldn't look out of place in a supercar, and then gave it the performance, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds, all in less than 70 grand. And while it was never announced or even heralded as a successor of the outgoing Stinger, I feel that the EV6 GT is exactly that. It is the spiritual successor to the Stinger, and the EV6 GT dual motor e-all-wheel drive is exactly what we're going to take a look at in depth today. Hey everyone, in today's newest in-depth review, we are taking a detailed walk-around look at the brand new 2024 Kia EV6. Now this EV6 is special in the fact that it is a GT, not a GT line, just the GT itself, and it is painted in runway red metallic and it looks absolutely fantastic in the sunlight, and it features the black GT interior. Now that black is highlighted by the neon green accents. And I have full pricing on the screen, and a full options list is in the description box below, so make sure you check that out. Today's review is going to be a full in-depth review. We're going to cover everything from the exterior to the interior. We're also going to cover powertrain, performance, economy, and everything else in between. Alright, and the EV6 is actually available as either a single motor front-wheel drive configuration or dual motor e-all-wheel drive configuration. Our EV6 GT is the latter. It is a dual motor e-all-wheel drive system, and it features dual front and rear mounted 430 kilowatt permanent magnet AC synchronous electric motors. These motors get their energy from a 77.4 kilowatt hour nickel cobalt manganese lithium battery, and they feature 10.9 kilowatt onboard charger with 240 kilowatt DC fast charge capabilities. Now I'll put the time to charge on the screen. There's several ones. You have the AC 240 volt 12 amp, AC 11 kilowatt, DC 50 kilowatt, and the DC 350 kilowatt. And all those charge times are a little bit different, so take a look at that on the screen. Together, these motors create 576 horsepower and 545 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 miles per hour comes in a scant 3.2 seconds. 0 to 100 miles per hour comes in at 8 seconds flat, with a quarter mile hit in 11.6 seconds at 119 miles per hour. Top speed on this vehicle is limited to 161 miles per hour. Alright, and as stated previously, we have a 77.4 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery capacity, and it consumes 41 kilowatt hours for 100 miles driven, with an estimated total driving range of around 218 miles. There's our fast charge port there opened up. State of charge is here. You can lock and unlock your battery charger, and of course you can close your door here. Now we have EPA fuel economy equivalent ratings of 88 miles per gallon E in the city, 77 miles per gallon E on the highway, and a combined average of 88 miles per gallon equivalent. Alrighty, and the transmission is not really a transmission at all, but rather it is a single speed direct drive unit. It is controlled by this rotary switch here. So if you want to put the vehicle in drive, you just twist the dial all the way over to D and it lights up, and then you can switch it over to neutral by 1 quarter turn, and by putting it all the way over to reverse there will actually bring up your active guidance lines in your reverse camera. You also have a top-down 360-degree view. Now, as stated before, this is actually a direct drive system. It has a 10.65 to 1 final drive ratio, and it's controlled also by drive modes. So here on the steering wheel, we have drive modes here, and right now we're in Eco. And of course, we also have normal, sport. So here's all of them: Eco, normal, and sport, and you'll see your instrument cluster changes a little bit. Then you have this other button here that says GT in this neon green look, and that changes your drive mode here to GT, and you can also select drift mode as well. But anyway, it turns all that lime green, and of course your range decreases, turns off your traction control, and gives you a lot more power and really in-your-face acceleration. Place the vehicle in the park. Alright, as we walk around the rear of the EV6, we're going to go into it a lot more detail, but I really like the design of it. Just a really squatty camback design, almost like a station wagon or hatchback. Alrighty, around the rear of the EV6 GT, while it looks more, it's classified more as a crossover vehicle, it is more of a camback design. A short and squatty, not really station wagon, but just a hatchback. But I love the aggressive proportions here. You have the windshield A-pillar comes up at a pretty high angle, and the car gradually slopes down, pinches off into this rear spoiler here that kind of comes out a little bit, helps airflow, direct airflow around. And as you can see, the double split spoiler back here, it actually shovels air through those inlets and uses the window as part of the spoiler. And then the deflector here on the taillights kind of pushes that air up and over, creating a really good slipstream. What that actually does, it negates the use of a rear wiper. Now, coming down to the rear, the taillights, as you can see, very dramatic design here. LED segmented lights all the way across. Nice little three-dimensional look inside this translucent plastic that doubles as the spoiler, and it comes down into your turn indicators. These segments get wider as the angle increases. Comes down into this really nicely dark titanium finished diamond plated chrome trim piece. You also have this little accent piece here, and that actually concludes all the way around the entire perimeter of the lower portion, and basically creates almost like a Mobius strip and completes that area. As we walk around the rear, as you can see, got the Kia logo, EV6 logo there, and of course your GT badge. You do have these widened lip spoilers here, gloss black down below. You'll note the lack of a exhaust pipe because it's electric. This little section here is actually your reverse lights, kind of form what looks to be like a Venturi fin. So yeah, really cool back there. And as we walk along the profile of the car, you can see it is quite large. I have the stats on screen, the dimensions are on screen. As you can see, it is a quite large vehicle, but it actually looks small in person. What really helps is that the wheels are pushed all the way out as far as they can go to each corner of the vehicle. That does increase your passenger cabin quite substantially, because the electric motors don't need a whole lot of room. Like an internal combustion engine, you don't need room for a fuel tank or an engine. Your batteries are low into the ground in the sandwich configuration, and of course your motors are at each axle, so it doesn't really require a lot of space underneath. Alright, and steering is electrically assisted vehicle speed sensitive variable rate rack and pinion with 2.3 turns lock to lock and a 39.2 foot turning radius. The wheels on this vehicle are 21 by 8.5 inch aluminum alloys. They are silver with the black painted pockets. And they are shot in 255/40 R21 Goodyear Eagle F1 tires. Now the brakes are power assisted 4-wheel disc brakes with fully defeatable stability control, competition mode, ABS, and traction control. Up front, we have massive 15-inch ventilated disc, and they are gripped by 4-piston neon-painted monoblock calipers. In the rear, we have equally large 14.2-inch ventilated disc with the same neon-painted single-piston calipers. These brakes can halt the EV6 from 70 miles per hour to 0 in 159 feet. Alrighty, walking around the front of the vehicle, as you can see here, very aggressive design, although it doesn't look out of place from every other vehicle, so it is somewhat of a sleeper, which is really great. Alright, so up front, the Kia EV6 in any trim actually looks really, really good, especially up front. It's a very wide, very low-slung car, as you can see here. Kind of looks like if the Stinger was electric, maybe. I don't know. They still do make the Stinger, but I think it's on its way out. But anyway, the front end design, really, really cool. You got this clamshell bonnet here, gloss black A-pillars going up into the roofline. The dark window tint and the sunroof make for a seamless look to it. And of course you got the power fold-away mirrors with the same gloss black treatments, LED repeaters, cameras of course. Coming down, the aforementioned clamshell, it's one big huge piece of aluminum. Into the really cool tail or headlamps here. Headlamps are very aggressive. They have the marker light coming all the way up into the wheel lip, down into this area here. The top portion actually serves as a driving light when not in use, so it's all white. But when it's in use, it's an amber turn indicator in these individual segments. And they come down and they meet here, and they continue down here. So at night, when you're driving, this is all one continuous piece. And of course, here is our LED high intensity headlamps down here. This car does not have fog lamps, so we just have these areas here. What looks like brake coolers actually is a false vent. Doesn't have anything. Of course, no need for a grill, but Kia kind of stylized one anyway, so it does look good. This actually houses the radar for your adaptive cruise control. Alright, before we get inside, let's take a quick look at the key. Pretty typical Kia key. It's actually not very substantial. It is just a black plastic with the typical chrome ring around the edge, inspired by the detonator keyless entry key fob that was first introduced with the Stinger. So on the back side, it's just a plain black piece of plastic. Over here we have our lock, unlock, liftgate release, and our panic alarm here. And on the front, we have our remote start or remote conditioning and our front and rear parking assist features there. To get in the car, you can actually unlock it with the key fob. It is also a smart key access system, so by keeping the key fob in your purse or pocket, you're able to lock and unlock the vehicle doors electronically. And it also has smart approach on it, which is really handy. It'll actually sense the approaching key fob, and the mirrors will fold out, the handles will swing out, and it will allow you to unlock the vehicle. Now let's go ahead and take a look inside. And what we have is a major departure from the original or the standard Kia EV6 line with these radical sport seats, neon green trim, and updated door panels here that have this nice little suede accent, soft touch vinyl that feels really good, like leather almost. Gloss black trim, satin silver accents with your door pulls here. Now here we do have our power mirror controls, mirror fold away, and our power locks, power windows, and window lockout. That accent, that suede, comes down into the armrest here, and more of that gloss black is in here in the door pulls. Now moving down, we trade off our leatherette for plastic. We do have some indoor storage here, and the speaker covers for the premium Meridian sound system. It is a Meridian surround sound system, and of course you also have your tweeters in the A-pillars. Now here on the driver's side instrument panel, we have multifunction controls, instrument panel brightness and dim, charge port door release, liftgate release, electronic parking brake, and our stability control. Fuse panel access. Here is our hood release here, and of course just two pedals. They are aluminum with treads on them, however. Of course we also have the premium Berber style carpeted floor mats. Now, because we have the sport seats, we don't have power adjustments here. This is our seat elevator here. You raise and lower your seat. This is our seat recline here. And we have manual fore and aft adjust via this bar here. Now let's take a look at these seats, because these seats are really cool. They would not look out of place in a hypercar. Very aggressively bolstered monoblock seats design with a very narrow head restraint. You have this really cool neon green accent piping all along the outline of it. These are really cool. Looks like stainless steel, but it's actually just plastic with the GT here. Looks like it can receive 4-point harnesses. In the middle is all Alcantara suede, and you have that stitching here that matches the piping. Really grippy, but on the outside is just a leather bolster here. Just really, really cool seats. Very comfortable and very supportive. Alrighty, pan through the interior, we're going to show more details. As you can see here, electrically assisted power assisted steering. It is a 2-spoke steering wheel design with a flat bottom rim. You do have this stainless steel accent stripe going all the way down the bottom portion of it, up into the middle portion here. And of course, we have the Kia logo front and center. And on the sides of the steering, inside the steering wheel, we also have that neon green accent color again. We do have also several multifunction controls. So over here we do have our cruise controls. So cruise control on and off, and this is our distance and our lane keep assist, set, accelerate, decelerate, resume, and pause. And this is your instrument cluster control. This is your pages, and this is, you can select sub-menus and make selections. And over here on the right hand side we have different modes, audio controls, phone controls, voice controls, and all that kind of stuff. You can also set a favorite. We also have our region on demand here. We have these little paddles here that'll do region, and you can increase it or you can decrease it here. And then down here are our drive mode selects. So we have eco, normal, and sport modes here, and this neon green one here is our GT mode. Multifunction controls here, we do have automatic headlamp controls here. We also have our turn indicators and our flash to pass or high beams. Over here we have our wiper washer control. Now front and center we have our instrument cluster, and currently we're in, I believe, normal. Yeah, we're in eco now, and you can see it's actually a dynamic, it changes dynamically, and then we can change it over to normal and then sport, and it just kind of highlights everything in red. We can also use this button here, and we can actually change different views. So driver info, trip odometer, accumulated info, all that kind of stuff. This is our navigation, and then we have our EV, so tire pressure, and then our motor distribution, power distribution, all that kind of stuff. So pretty easy. One thing I really like is whenever you turn on the turn signal, you do have your blind spot camera. That appears here when you're in the left hand, and if you turn to the right, you have the right view. And in GT mode, we actually have a GT, and then we can also do our own drive mode here. And this makes it a little bit more aggressive. We have an more aggressive audio sound too. It also turns off our stability control. All right, moving over the top of the dash, as you can see here, we do have the cutout there for the heads-up display. And our dash pretty much sweeps across the entire interior, the entire width of it. And we are greeted by another screen here, a large screen, almost 13 inches if I'm not correct. So here we are in our home view. We have EV, we have a various amount of buttons here. So EV, map, navigation, phone, all that kind of stuff. We've also got media, Kia Connect, all that kind of just really cool stuff. And this is our overview. So we have our date and time, what's playing right now, our range, and our location via navigation with a kind of a swirly background. So EV actually just shows our range, battery percent, our nearest charger, and basically with the climate control on or off, how much time we have to charge. The map basically just shows our navigation. Phone, all that kind of stuff. We have Apple CarPlay, Google Android Auto, voice memos, climate controls are shown here, which is really, really nice to have on-screen climate controls, but we also have them down here as well. We're going to go over all that. We also have valet mode, quiet mode, HD radio data or the radio and setup. Setup basically shows vehicle settings, so you can do I don't know, driver assistance, drive modes, head-up display, active sound, and all that kind of stuff. You can also kind of change your cluster, change your illumination here. Cluster theme selection, we have it linked to drive mode. And you can also do the welcome sound, content selection, all that kind of stuff. Another cool feature is the inside media. We have the sounds of nature, which we'll cover in depth, but we have lively forest, sailing on a ship, city at dawn, experience the universe, I don't know, rainy day, moment of meditation, and a warm fireplace. My favorite being the lively forest. Alright, now moving down, we may or may not be able to see this because the sun is very bright, but right now we're actually in our buttons. So volume and power here, front and rear climate control, or front and rear defroster, auto climate, recirculate, and then over here we have our hard buttons here: map, navigation, favorite, seek, track, radio, all that kind of stuff. So basically we could just bring whatever we need here, and it shows up. Basically it shows up here on the screen. And then here is really cool because it kind of reminds me of Nissan's multimedia system in the Juke. And by flipping this fan to the fan here, so we have navigation now. If we flip to the fan, you'll see everything changes. So what was our volume button and power button turns into a climate control button. These stay the same, and now we can actually set, we can show our temperatures for our driver and our passenger. Turn on AC, driver only, fan speed control here, and then of course our blend mode, heat, sync, and all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool to have all of that into one small panel. And then your air vents here are actually very nicely integrated into the dashboard. Now moving down here, we have a floating center console that has heated seat controls, heated steering wheel controls, push button start here, this brushed aluminum trim, our this is our gear selector here, parking sensor, or the parking cameras here, auto hold, and parking sensor power switch, dual front cup holders, wireless charging, padded center armrest, which opens up to reveal a nice amount of storage inside. Another look at those seats. Of course, we do have a power sunroof, automatic dimming rearview mirror, 3-channel home link universal garage door opener. We've also got overhead lighting, individual touch sensitive LED lights. This is our dome override, power sunroof control, SOS, and Kia Connect. Sun visors are nice and large. They do feature vanity mirrors, and they also have ceiling mounted LED illumination, which is really nice to have as well. And of course the sun visors do swing out, they slide out on extension rails, and they do give good coverage. You've also got dampened overhead assist handles and height adjustable seat belts. Alright, let's take a look at the rear seat now. Now this vehicle only has a rear seat, doesn't have a third row seat or anything like that. And you do have the same kind of theme back here, except we don't have the soft touch vinyl or leatherette up on the top. It's just plastic, but we still have the Alcantara suede with the armrest, gloss black trim, satin silver trim here, and of course the Meridian speakers continue back here. You also have outboard heated seats, 2-stage heated rear seats, power window controls, and a very small amount of storage here, mostly for like a bottle or something like that. And of course that speaker grill for the Meridian sound system. Now let's take a look at the rear seats. The rear seats are actually very roomy. They are a 60-40 split folding seat with reclining seat backs, and they do feature high adjustable head restraints on all seating positions. While they're not as sporty as the front seats, they do continue to have that same kind of leather with the Alcantara suede and that neon green accents. You also have a fold-down center armrest here. It does feature dual cup holders, and you can actually flip this to reveal, make it more of a storage cubby. You have a very small rear window back here, dampened assist handles here, air vents mounted in the B pillars, and due to the nature of the seats, we do not have seat back mat pockets. We do have 2 USB Type-C charge ports back here, however, but no rear climate controls, or just the climate vents back here. You'll also note a very flat floor. Now, if you want to fold the seats, folding the seats is actually very easy. Where you would think a seat release lever would be, is not actually there. It's actually down here. This is also your recline lever, but that will actually unlock the seat back, and then you can just fold the seat forward. And as you can see, the seats fold flat and level with the load floor in the back. One bad thing I don't like about it though, however, is if you lift this up and you try to actually lift the seat up, it's not a one-handed motion because the seats are still locked. So you actually have to have 2 hands free. And the seats don't actually go back to their original positions either. Alright, and there are several ways to open the liftgate. You can press and hold the liftgate release button here on the driver's side instrument panel. Around the rear of the vehicle, right next to the reverse camera, there's actually a membrane switch here. You can press and hold that, and that will actually release the liftgate. Or you can press and hold the liftgate button on the key fob. It is a power opening liftgate. Nice wide opening area with a low lift over height. It is about waist high. As you can see, it's a pretty nice load flat cargo floor. We do have an all-weather floor mat here. We've also got the all-weather mats back here as well. It does have the EV6 logo here. And of course, we've also got the carpeted floor mat underneath. And underneath here, we do have tire mobility kit, a additional charge. You can actually plug in a household style AC outlet to the charge port, and that's what that adapter is there. But overall, just a very nice cargo area. It does have a rollback privacy cover. And right here, you can actually lower your seats from back here. You cannot raise them from back here, but you can lower them from back here. That does increase your cargo capacity. And of course, we've also got a 12-volt power point back here as well. LED lighting. And if you want to close the liftgate, you can just press this button here. Alright, and there you have it. The full in-depth review of the 2024 Kia EV6 GT. We hope you found the video informative, and if you did, please comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/neighborhoodcarreviews and our Instagram channel at BrensoJ1. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.